Hello, and welcome to our Integrative Thinking Project presentation, where we discuss the issue of homelessness. My name is Wilson, and I will be starting this presentation off by articulating the models. Jerry will then follow to examine the models, Nick will explore the possibilities, and Wesley will assess the prototypes. Finally, Ezra will present the solution and conclude everything to end our presentation. Homelessness is an issue where individuals are in a state of being unhoused or unsheltered. This is a major issue that affects more than 150 million people worldwide. Using the integrative thinking process, our group has determined two opposing models and have analyzed it to determine a solution to solve this issue. To begin to find a solution for this model, we must first articulate two opposing models. We have chosen the following. Homelessness is caused by individual responsibility, and homelessness is caused by systematic failure. Starting off with individual responsibility, this model emphasizes personal choices and individual responsibility as primary factors contributing to homelessness. Some of the biggest factors that contribute to homelessness are unemployment, mental health issues, drug addiction, gambling addiction, and alcohol abuse. These are all factors that an individual can control, and it is their responsibility to prioritize their own health and well-being and make choices that positively impact their lives. The pros that arrive under finding a solution for this model is that this model promotes personal accountability. This is extremely important as it encourages individuals to take responsibility for their own actions and choices. This will in turn foster a sense of empowerment and self-determination. It also emphasizes self-improvement. This model will encourage individuals to make positive changes in their lives, such as overcoming addiction or getting mental health services. Finally, this model supports a deterrent against negative behaviors. Knowing that poor life choices can lead to homelessness, by holding individuals accountable, it can serve as a deterrent against behaviors that lead to homelessness. Moving on to the opposing model, where societal and systematic factors play a significant role in homelessness. Some of these factors are lack of affordable housing, lack of supportive services, limited access to education, and limited employment opportunities. This model emphasizes systematic failures that are beyond an individual's control, and it is through these failures that cause people to go homeless. The pros, however, for finding a solution under this model is that this model raises awareness for the need for increased affordable housing, where more individuals are able to access housing easier. This model also advocates for expanding healthcare access. This emphasizes the importance of integrating healthcare services to address complex needs and provides an opportunity for individuals to seek help and improve themselves. Finally, this model drives investment in job training programs and more affordable education programs. This also highlights the importance of addressing structural barriers to employment and education for marginalized communities. Jerry will now examine the models.
All right, so our first model being the individual responsibility model. This model refers to the effect of homelessness being caused by an individual's own actions, namely their own choices, actions, or flaws. So how do these 3 points work together? When people choose to take accountability for their actions for addiction, such as seeking assistance, self-improvement, or building their education and skills, or even volunteering, you can hold those who are in a situation of homelessness accountable for their own actions, which will in turn lead to people being better equipped when faced with homelessness. So examining the models of system failure, our second one, is referring to homelessness being caused by the systems that are in place in a society. Those less educated are far more likely to become homeless, with 2 in 3 young people who become homeless leave school within 12 months. So how do our 3 points work together? When these points work together in a way that these programs are implemented, key issues such as housing, economic inequality can be minimized and have lesser impact on those who do not have the economic capability to support themselves. With the introduction of support systems such as healthcare that can be equally accessible for anyone, will decrease monetary strain on those paying for healthcare. Better education and training will lead to increased job opportunities available for those who are capable, which will lead to decreasing numbers of homeless people. So comparing the two models, the tension arises from the different points of interest. The differences between individual competency and systematic methods or practices. The first model assumes that the choices of oneself and their own behaviors play an important role in causing homelessness, that individuals are able to improve their own situation by personal accountability and self-improvement. The second model assumes that homelessness is caused by the direct systematic errors in a society, such as ones that lead to barriers like healthcare, housing, and economic differences between all people. However, there are also similarities. The models both target the root cause of homelessness and try to improve the situation that homeless people can get into. They also both reduce homelessness as well as its associated negative connotations and impacts within a community. So, the problems to solve. Using homeless shelters is only a quick fix, but the best solution is to target the root cause of homelessness. Implementing one model could lead to the downfall of another, such as the individual model pushing those to not seek support services as they want to fix it themselves, or the implementation of a system model pushing those to rely on others instead of driving themselves towards a goal. Another problem could be the resistance from those who are homeless that do not want to seek help or are incapable of finding help. An example of achieving both models is to use elements from each of them to achieve the optimal solution, such as taking the systematic aspect of the external efforts from government, charities, or communities, or the individual aspect of encouraging individuals to be proactive and taking the measures of self-improvement. Therefore, having cherry-picking the best quotes or the best points will help work towards minimizing the number of homeless people.
As mentioned previously, we examined the biggest causes of homelessness and how beneficial an individual's priorities positively shift their well-being and thus their lifestyles. By exploring the restrictive nature of limited needs for consumers, we can identify lifestyle areas of improvement and thus suggest advice and support for individuals. By accentuating the effects of individual responsibility, observing insufficient resources of people allows us to understand that personal accountability opens a doorway to coping mechanisms. Addressing the psychological aspect of homelessness, behavioral, cognitive, and emotional aspects all formulate how one copes, and by encouraging approach coping, individuals possess possibilities to enter the workforce to generate a source of income. In doing so, individuals may proactively seek help and benefit of acquiring skills and knowledge to perform in a workplace, despite the level of education and work history. By taking initiative and having a great sense of self-awareness, homelessness is a very challenging task to be faced with, and it encourages people to seek out survival tactics to better improve their lifestyles. Despite this, many homeless individuals may possess drug, alcohol, and domestic related abuses, and this creates mental and physical wear and tear or just general health disorders, which may impair and restrict people's potential health. As a result, it is crucial that we realize community, professional, familial, friendship, and financial support is pivotal when individuals cannot survive alone. By reflecting on lack of housing, food, services, education, and unemployment, it is observed that many opportunities can be explored. One approach involves the government supporting and being able to provide affordable housing prices. By lowering and providing shelters, many homeless people, in combination with a stable income, can afford to rent shelters. Additionally, by encouraging community engagement, charities, and businesses, they can collaborate to provide food, shelters, employment, mental and physical programs, thus providing resources to those in need and fostering safer lifestyles. Moreover, educational and training programs can be utilized to empower people to lift themselves, such as employment assistance and financial knowledge. By disseminating skills and knowledge, applications to lifestyles matters and a job environment can be developed.
As previously stated, one of the chosen models to address homelessness is individual responsibility. Here we encourage the promotion of personal accountability and an emphasis on self-improvement and supporting deterrence against negative behaviors. This can be accomplished through further integration of educational programs and well-being classes, promoting self-reflective behavior in high schools and sporting programs. For example, in the Netherlands, the Dutch government is relying on programs centered around individual responsibility in order to mitigate the impact upon the local waterways via the implementation of the concept in local water management practice. Bergberg and Gupta, 2012. By making people individually responsible rather than addressing the whole people are more likely to take charge, though this doesn't come without its flaws. Thus, by promoting individual responsibility to those who are younger, it will again promote them to make better decisions, tangentially decreasing the rate of homelessness as their self-reflective and improving behavior will allow them to avoid certain pitfalls. A way of measuring this possibility is to survey a group of students in one school who don't receive these programs and others who do. Both are in a low economic area and will be surveyed every 5 years, whereas they'll be measured on attributes like average income, expenditure, health, and mental stability. This allows the prototype to be either proven and disproven, as it can be hypothesized that students who receive these programs would not be homeless in comparison to their peers. Moving on. Next factor we discuss is system failure. When assessing system failure's role to play in regard to homelessness, it was identified that the root cause are lack of affordable housing, lack of supportive services, and limited educational and employment opportunities. In order to resolve these issues, it is requested that awareness is raised for the need of affordable housing, advocacy for expanding healthcare services, and driving investment in job training programs. These are all noble goals, though they do not come without their limitations. The first step to reducing homelessness through addressing system failure is to drive investment in training programs, as education has directly linked with homelessness, as 63% to 90% of homeless youth did not complete high school despite being the age to do so. Elm in 2016. Thus, with lower educational standards, these individuals won't be able to accrue jobs which give them the income which is stable enough to purchase a home. A way to measure the impact of system failure's impact on homelessness is by measuring the rate of homelessness within a certain area. Surveying those on the street about factors like when did they graduate and what types of jobs have you performed, thus allowing the prototype to be proven or disproven as like individual responsibility. It can be hypothesized that those who have been impacted by system failure due to a lack of education are more likely to be homeless due to the previous mentioned factors.
Homelessness is still a major issue in our society, with people facing a variety of challenges that contribute to the lack of stable housing. We'll look at two approaches to addressing homelessness. Let's start with the individual responsibility model, which emphasizes empowering people to make positive decisions and to take control of their lives. Prioritizing well-being and positive choices is critical. Individuals can make better decisions about their lives by raising awareness of issues such as unemployment, mental health disorders, and substance abuse. Encouraging personal accountability reinforces the notion that people are responsible for their actions. Individuals can avoid becoming homeless by understanding the consequences of their actions. This model also emphasizes on self-improvement, encouraging people to seek opportunity for growth and stability. By providing assistance and resources, we enable people to make positive changes in their lives and discourage harmful behaviors. Now, let's look at the systemic solution model, which addresses broader societal and structural factors that contribute to homelessness. Affordable housing initiatives are crucial for ensuring stable housing for individuals and families with limited financial resources. We can increase the supply of affordable housing units and collaborate with developers to create opportunity for housing security. Housing vouchers and rent subsidies reduce the financial burdens by ensuring that people have access to safe and affordable housing options. Policy changes are needed to address this kind of issue as well, such as housing discrimination and tenants' rights. By enacting legislation and implementing the anti-discrimination measures, we can create a more equitable housing system for everyone. And finally, supportive services such as mental health counseling and job training are essential for addressing the root causes for homelessness. By collaborating with community organizations, we can offer tailored assistance to those who are in need. Finally, both the individual responsibility and systemic solution models can play critical roles in addressing homelessness. While the former empowers people to take control of their own lives, the latter addresses broader systemic issues that contribute to homelessness. We can work to reduce homelessness and create a more inclusive society for all by implementing solutions from both models and encouraging collaboration among governments, charitable organizations, and local communities. Together, we can improve the lives of those who are homeless. Thank you for joining us in this presentation to address the present issue in our communities. This is the reference list. Thank you.